interview, every time we throw a different curveball when we do the interview, so you never kind of know what they're going to come into, and that avoids the complacency of like, oh, I just have to do a presentation and walk through the motions. So this time we actually are having them score in front of themselves and really dig into their digital notebook and really kind of like, some of them are like having this epiphany, like, oh my gosh, I haven't been doing this, and kind of emulating like the college experience. You know how college, like, you're basically graded on 2 things the entire semester. Our whole focus this last 6 weeks have been the research paper and their digital notebooks. So if they're weak in those 2 areas, that's really should reflect what their grade is. And so having these 2 rubrics and be able to talk about just these 2 components versus their overall performance. But they were supposed to prepare a presentation. So if, say, I'm giving them a grade based off of these 2 things and they don't agree, they should have evidence to support if they want to build it up.
I heard you say that. You said, this is what I'm thinking. Do you have any evidence that would persuade me to change that?
Yeah. So it really becomes a conversation versus this, like, you know, intimidating factor, because I want them to be able to support themselves constantly. So
And how often do you have these interviews?
every 6 weeks.
Every 6 weeks.
Yeah. And they take time, you know, so.
And if we're taking time from one of yours right now,
No, you're fine. We're actually 2 days ahead. Like, we give ourselves 4 days to do them. And so.
Talk a little bit about how you structure what everybody else is doing while you're doing this.
So luckily the students are really adaptable to self-pacing themselves based on our program. They actually, every day they come in and they have a slide deck that opens up to their phone, and this walks them through the day's agenda. So they know exactly how long they have to do each task and what they need to do. And I then work individually with smaller groups of honor students, in particular, to help them develop labs, because they actually like constructing the labs. They like being in charge of the curriculum, and what they're learning in English is audience. So most of these people are actually in honors chemistry, and so they have this passion for fossil fuels and fracking because of what they're learning in their other class. So I said, great, share it. And then all of a sudden there was like this huge high level with equations. I'm like, whoa, 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 what's your audience? And so they had to tone it down, and it's not about showing how much they know, but really speaking to their audience. So that's the English mixed in with the science.
can you pan real quick, just so I can see?
And
Stop global warming right here, right now, immediately. And we could just get rid of all the fossil fuels, but we can't, because we don't have something to replace it. And we love money too much. So that brings us into our next subject.
give us about a minute on what the new school is and how it works.
So New School is basically a student-driven program where students are at the center of learning. And so it is 3 classes, 2 teachers, 60 students. Next year we're hoping to expand that to a 3-class, 3 teachers, 90 students model. But basically we take core concepts, and from there we build off of these ideas, looking at the English components, the science components, the technology components. It's project-based. It's technology focused, and really about the idea of them creating the learning experience. So there's a lot of adaptability. We have a nice 1/3 equity. We have 1/3 of our students who are honors, and they have to interview for that position. And then we have a 1/3 of our population that are academically struggle in a traditional setting, who are really thriving in this setting. If you would not believe how many of these kids have fours and IEPs and normally would be bouncing off the walls. And here I can sit back and talk to a student individually, and I'm not having any behavior issues, which is awesome, right? So yeah.
Thank you.